So this is your unit exam review for Unit 8. First question is the geometric sequence that has a common ratio of -3. That means from one term to the next I have to multiply by -3. Okay, I look at my answer choices and I notice, for example, letter B, that's a linear, n-3. There's geometric would have a times, not minus or plus, so this would be arithmetic. So definitely not that one. From here, 6 times -3 would give me -18, not -1, so not that one. Over here, I see this is n-1 is the previous term, and times -3. Okay, so this would mean that this would be the recursive formula, and this would be my common ratio. So this one, yes. Okay, and then here, if I multiply by -3, I wouldn't get 36 times -3 would not be 12. This one looks like it's -1/3. So 36 times -1/3 would give me -12 times -1/3 would give me 4 and so forth. So this one's 1/3, not -3. So in this case, C would be my answer. For number 2, I have to give the recursive formula. So I have to do A of n equals the common ratio and then times n-1, the previous term. Okay, but here they don't give me the first term or anything. They give me A of 4 is -4, A of 5 is -8, and A of 6 is -16. Okay, so I have to work my way to the first one, because remember, for recursive, I also need the first term. So I need A of 1 first. So I need the first term. And then I need like the rule. Okay, so this is a recursive formula, the first term and then the rule. Okay, and I also need to find that common ratio. What is it? So from here I can find the common ratio first. So I know that from -4 to -8, I had to do times 2. And from 8 to -16 is also times 2. So if I want to reverse it to get the first term, instead of times 2 times 2, I can divide by 2 or times 1/2. So that means this one over here had to have been -2. Okay? I reversed it. And then from here, this had to be -1. And this one would have to have been -1/2. Okay? So from here, I know that my common ratio is times 2. And when I reversed it, I know that my first term is -1/2. Okay, so now I'm ready to put it together. So I can say A of 1 equals -1/2, the first term, and the rule A of n equals the common ratio of 2 times the previous one. Okay, and this will be my answer. Alright, so the next one, it's telling me if M is a geometric sequence and M of 2 is 16 and M of 4 is 1, which could not represent the explicit formula for M. Okay, so first I need to know what the common ratio is. Explicit, I need the common ratio and then the first term as well. We start with the first term. So I have m of 2 is 16. I don't have m of 3. I don't have m of 1. And then I have m of 4, which is 1. Okay? So here's going to have, the common ratio will have to be a fraction because it's lowering, it's decreasing. So I need to find out what went on here. What do I have to multiply that by, this by, and this by to get the 1? I feel like if I divide by 4 or times 1/4, this would give me 4, and times 1/4, this would give me 1. So in order to get the first one, I'll reverse, and with times 4, so this would have to be 64. Okay, and now it works. 64 divided by 4, 16 divided by 4, 4 divided by 4, 1. So my common ratio is 1/4. Okay? Now, in order for me to know if these are correct, so which are correct? I'll have to plug in the ones that I already know. I already know for sure these two, right? So I can plug in, and then I can figure out which works. Okay? So even if I didn't do that, I can still plug in. I know that my ratio is 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4. This one's a little weird because it starts with 256. But remember, 3 of them work. 3 work, 1 doesn't. Okay? So here I need to figure out, I'm going to plug in 2. So for letter A, I'll do m of 2 and then plug in and see if I get 16. If I don't get 16, then this is not it. So 64 times, this would be 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 4 is 16. So 64 divided by 16 is 4. Did I get 16? No, I did not. So this one doesn't work. So it looks like I found the answer. I can just verify letter B, C, and D just to make sure, to check. Letter B, if I plug in the 2, okay, and then this would be -2 because the n is 2. So this is the same thing as 256. When I have a negative exponent, whatever number it is, I move it down. So this means to the 1/4 squared. So 256 times 1/16. This one does give me 16, so it works. Okay. For letter C, 64 times 1/4, and then m is the 2, so 2 minus 1, that's 1. So that's 64 times 1/4, and that would give me also 16. So C works. And I'll do D up here, letter D. Yes, yes. Okay. Letter D, I have -64.
Different questions about lunch. Students, please, teachers, please do not dismiss students for lunch until we do announce it. We did get pizza for our Saturday school students, but we'll ask that you please
This is a negative.
We announce that you come and get it.
So negative times a negative is a positive, so this one also works. So apologize for the announcement. So all of them, you didn't really need to do this part. All you needed to do was plug in one of these, either the 2 or the 4. And if you got the 16 when you plugged in the 2, if you got the 1 when you plugged in the 4, then those work. As you notice, letter A, it didn't work. When I plugged in 2 for n, it gave me 4 instead of 16. So that's the one that does not work. So that's why I chose A, because remember I was looking for the one that doesn't work. Okay? All right, so for number 4, represents decay. So decay will have to be greater than 0 but less than 1. So a fraction